Hi, we're back for pronouns part 2. Let's do this. So now I'm going to introduce you to more pronouns beyond the personal pronouns of he, she, me, I, that kind of stuff. These are other pronouns, and there's a lot of them. So brace yourself. Let's do this. I wanted to start with the bodies, the ones, the things, and the nos. These are all pronouns. Everybody, everyone, everything. If you think about it, it is a pronoun because everybody is replacing the names of the people in the group. You could say Joe, Susie, Dan, Ken, and Betha, or whatever. And instead of that, you say everybody. So that is a pronoun. So everybody, everyone, everything, anybody, anyone, anything, somebody, someone, something, nobody, no one, nothing. Okay, all of those are pronouns. Grip that, yeah? Next one are other indefinite pronouns. Don't worry about this word indefinite, just know that these are all pronouns. Each, every, all, most, many, much, little, few, both, several, other, another, some, either, neither. All of those are pronouns. They can replace words like groceries or some item from the market. So if I say get me a little, meaning get me a little bit of, I don't know, what would be in those bulk bins, rice or something, get me a little of that, right? Little is a pronoun replacing the item that you are actually speaking about, like rice, right? Okay, so those are all pronouns. Then you get the demonstrative pronouns. Again, don't worry about the name, but this name is actually okay because it's demonstrating this, that over there, these over here, and those over there. So demonstrative pronouns are demonstrating where. And these pronouns replace a word like book or books, like this book, give me that, meaning that book, right? Okay, they can function in a sentence as an adjective or a noun, but you can still call it a pronoun. So here's an example. This desk is wooden. So this is describing desk. It's an adjective, right? And then this is wooden, meaning the desk. You're substituting it out. It's a pronoun. It's functioning as a noun, right? So they're kind of functioning in other ways, even though you can just call them a pronoun. Okay. Now, the self words. Let's just call these the self words. Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves. You notice we're going plural here with the VES. Yourselves, like you boys do that yourselves. Themselves. Okay, all of those are also pronouns. And the trick with these is don't use that as a subject pronoun. You cannot say Susie and myself are the leaders, because you cannot say myself is a leader. You say I am the leader, not myself. It sounds like you're disjointed from your body. Oh my gosh, weird. Okay, so you cannot use it as a subject pronoun. But when you can use it is for emphasis, like I did it myself. Pretty cool, yeah? I did it myself. Or I myself did it. So you can use it for emphasis, or you can use it as an object. I saw myself in a mirror. Saw is the verb. Myself is the object that you saw. That would be fine to say I saw myself in a mirror. And I think you know that. That sounds normal, right? And then I gave myself a treat, or I gave myself a pat on the back, or I gave myself a black eye when I knocked into that thing, right? So you actually use these correctly most of the time, but when in doubt, don't go with the self words, because you're probably making this error here and saying, Joe and myself are going to the store. Oh my gosh, it sounds like you're split personality. Okay. The last ones are often these are question words like who and whoever and whose and whom, whomever, what, whatever, which, whichever, and that. Think about that. If I say Susie is here, Susie is your noun, but you can replace that with the word who, and then it's a pronoun. Who is here? Well, the answer is Susie. So you're replacing her name, Susie, with the word who. That's why this is a pronoun. Who is here? Susie. Okay, and all of these function that way too. So there are a lot of them. What I want to go over with you is give you some practice doing subject-verb agreement with pronouns, because some of them can be either singular or plural. So here are some examples of that. If you're talking about people, you would say more is working or more are working. If you're talking about people, you would want to say more are working, right? I'm going to go to the highlighter and We'll do this like together, okay? So more are working if you're talking about people. People is plural. More working is or are a good thing. More working is your subject, and that's sort of a, a single subject. More working is a good thing. So here's your plural, here's your singular, same pronoun. It just depends what you're talking about, whether you're going to go with a plural verb or a singular verb. Same thing with this. These are going to be more clear the more we do them. Most of us is going or most of us are going. I think naturally you would say most of us are going, and that's because us is plural. It's a group of people. But most of the pizza is gone because pizza is one item, and so most of it is just one unit of that single item. So again, plural and singular for the pronoun most can be either. So we've done these two, more and most. Let's see what any has. Okay, any amount, without the word amount, any amount is fine. Any amount is fine. An amount is a single unit. It's a non-count noun. And then any two of these four choices, any two of those four, any are fine. Whichever you pick of the four, whichever two you pick, any are fine. Okay, so that's how any can be both. Let's look at all. All of us is going, all of us are going. You know this one because you say it correctly. All of us are going. We say that all the time, but all can also be singular. All water is wet because water is a non-count singular noun, right? Okay, so again, plural and singular. Okay, and then none is yet another. There's 6 altogether. So none of us is going. None of us is going because, that's a hard one, yeah, but not one of us is going. None of us is going. That one's a little tricky, isn't it? Okay, just try to memorize it, I guess, then none of us is going. None of the test scores are released yet, right? None of the test scores. Because of that S, you go with R, yeah? Okay, now some. Some is the last of the plurals, right? The singular and plurals. Some paper is recycled. Paper is a non-count noun like water. It's a lot of, you can't count, you can't really count that. And then I have a stack of paper. Some in that stack, some is recycled in that stack, right, of paper, right? Stack of paper. Some is recycled. But if I have a stack of papers, like let's say essays, but some of them aren't new, some of those essays aren't new, they're from other years, some are recycled from other years. And I want to show my students some sample essays. Okay. And then some of us are going because it's a group of people. And then some of this cheese is moldy. Some of the cheese is a single unit, some of it is moldy. All right, so those are the ones that can be both. I wanted to just then move over to the ones that can be, that are singular, that, you might not really think they are. Someone is going, that's pretty obvious, right? Because someone, it sounds like one, but everyone sounds like it's going to be plural because it is a group. But you normally actually do say this correctly. Everyone is going. You don't say are. It's a singular pronoun even though it's a group of people. That's a little tricky, yeah? Okay. Everything has been put in its place, their place, their place, their place. Okay, so this is asking you, what do you do with a word like everything when you're substituting one pronoun for another pronoun? In this case, it's because this is the possessive form in the singular. This is it is, right? This is the possessive form plural. This is a contraction for they are, and this is a location, right? Put it there. Okay, so in this case, put everything in its place. All right. And then lastly, everything is okay or everything are okay. Everything is okay. And I think you say that one right anyway. Let's just be aware of 2 pronoun problems that are very, very common, very, very common. I get them in essays from 7th grade through 12th grade. So let's see if we can try to conquer this problem. One common problem with pronoun is not having proper agreement. A pronoun must agree in number and gender with the word to which it refers. These rules are coming straight out of the Keeble's Guide, which is our school, Iolani School's grammar book, created in honor of Harold Keebles and written by Dr. Michael Liguori. So I'm not trying to plagiarize here. I just, credit is due to Liguori, Dr. Liguori, and he's written these rules clearly. Pronoun agreement, here's an example of that problem. I talked to the counselor about my problem. Sorry, let me go back to here. I talked to the counselor about my problem and they gave me good advice. They does not match the counselor. This is singular, this is plural. You have an agreement problem, right? So you'd either need to say, I talked to the counselors and they gave me good advice, or I talked to the counselor and let's say she or he gave me good advice. But you have an agreement problem until you fix that and make them match. Another example is each girl wore their uniform. It sounds like they share the uniform, but they don't. Each girl is wearing her own uniform, so each girl wore her uniform. And then this example, as long as one keeps up with the homework, they can pass. Those don't match. It'd have to be as long as one keeps up, one can pass, or as long as students keep up, they can pass, something like that. But you need to match your two pronouns. So one big problem is pronoun agreement. Let's make sure the pronoun agrees with the word that it's replacing, called the antecedent. And then the second rule that's a biggie here is make sure the pronoun is clearly related to or replacing another word. You can't make it vague. Each pronoun must refer to one clearly specified thing. So here's an example. After Bill spoke with Jim, they agreed, that's fine, to lend me his car. We don't know whose car is it. Is it Bill's car or Jim's car? So after Bill spoke with Jim, they agreed to lend me Bill's car or Jim's car, right? But that is an unclear pronoun reference. Needs to be made clear. Okay, here's some funny examples. He worked at the only store in town which wasn't there anymore or isn't there anymore. Which is a pronoun, but is it referring to town or store? Is the town not there or the store not there? We don't know. So it's an unclear pronoun reference. Same with this one. Doctors took x-rays to look for an injury to my brain, but they couldn't find one. Oh my goodness, is it a brain they couldn't find? Or is it the injury? But they couldn't find an injury. You'd probably have to actually repeat an injury there. Otherwise, it's going to be unclear. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop with that because there's more to it. You can look this up, the Keeble's Guide, if you want. But those are the biggies for pronoun rules. And we are done. We did it. These pronouns are very tricky. I hope these two videos help you. Good luck. All right.